Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Folks, last year we engaged in a month-long retrospective endeavor to cover all the animated classics in Don Bluth's filmography. This month, brace yourselves as we enter the dark middle chapter in our Bluthian journey. An adventure so dark it will scare away the sun. No character, tall or small, will be able to match the frigid critical reception these films received. Before the end, you'll be a bad troll. A very bad troll. Chart a course for Planet Bob. We're diving headfirst into the second season of BluthTember.
Bum, bum, bum.
Alright, and tonight, Dragon, let's just track the course here. Let's just track our BluthTember journey so far. Started out with Rockadoodle. Something from my childhood, so I have a little bit of nostalgia for it. I admit that it's a total mess of a movie on a plot level, but I think it's got a cool vibe to it at the same time. You really did not like Rockadoodle. I don't think it's a great movie, but I defended it a bit. Then we came to Thumbelina. I really did not like Thumbelina. I thought Thumbelina was basically all the bad parts of Anastasia without any of the good parts. You know, it was all like the blatant Disney ripoff parts without any of the class. But you happen to really like Thumbelina, all things considered. It's not a great movie, but you enjoyed it for what it was. Then, Dragon, holy shit, I did not know the bottom of the barrel could get so far down because we hit Troll in Central Park. Which, Dragon, that was painful. I mean, that was just painful. That was just ridiculous how bad that movie was.
I still gotta send you the bill for my therapy.
So now, Dragon, we're at Pebble and the Penguin. Going into this one, I probably knew the least about it out of any Don Bluth movie. I knew nada. I have no nostalgia for this. I didn't even, I vaguely was even aware of its existence for the most part. Dragon, you ready for my spicy hot take on Pebble and the Penguin?
Spicy.
This is the best post-Land Before Time Don Bluth movie.
I see.
I think it's a little bit better than All Dogs because I think it has a bit more of a consistent plot to it, and it doesn't have the wonky stuff that All Dogs has, like the big-lipped alligator moment of it all. I think Anastasia might be objectively a better film, but this certainly feels more Bluthian than Anastasia does. And I don't know, Dragon, this one really worked for me. I'm shocked how much this one worked for me. Of course, the voice cast doesn't hurt. This movie's got a killer 3 leads, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I feel like, look, I don't think the music is firing on all cylinders or anything, but I do think the songs in this movie are maybe a tiny step above the usual Don Bluth musical fare. It's certainly above Troll in Central Park levels. It's not a great movie. It's not like a return to form. I can't say it's as good as The Land Before Time by any means. But Dragon, like I said, I feel like it's got a more consistent plot than All Dogs, and I feel like it feels more Bluthian than Anastasia. So in that regard, man, I really do genuinely think this is kind of this is Don Bluth's lost work, man. I really do. I mean, this movie has like a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is fucking ridiculous. All right, your take.
My take, well, I'll tell you, I think the Old Dogs, I think it's saying it's better than Old Dogs, a little crazy, but that's my take.
All Dogs has a really wonky plot, man.
I don't think it's that wonky, but anyway. So I think it's a little better than Thumbelina, maybe. It's kind of where I'm at on it. I think it's kind of neck and neck with Thumbelina in that it's kind of in the same ballpark. I think
it's a lot better than Thumbelina, but
I mean, I think here's the thing. I think technically it's probably better than Thumbelina, but Thumbelina, I guess, is more consistent. Not consistently good, but it's consistent. I don't know. It's I think they're kind of I think technically this is better than Thumbelina, but I don't know by how much. Let me put it this way. Out of this batch that we're talking about, the bunch we've talked about so far in kind of the Dark Ages, if you will. Now, we haven't gotten the Titan AA, obviously, but what we've talked about, I think this is the most Bluthian of the bunch by comparison, for sure.
Absolutely.
Can't argue it feels very Bluthian. And we've been going off Bluth for a lot of these, so it was refreshing to get back to that. I'd argue I think the characters are a little more here are a little more fun and memorable for
Mhm.
sure. But I gotta tell you, the whole I don't think it's anything really special. I mean, I think it's still a little stuck in the Troll in Central Park kind of cheesiness. It's compared to the two. I mean, it's nowhere near as terrible as Troll in Central Park. But I'm saying it's like Bluth kind of coming out of the muck of that, and you can kind of see a little bit of on his shoes with this. It's still a little
Sure,
bit there.
sure.
It's very much. I think overall, this still feels very much kind of slim pickings of what like a parent would put on for their kids, like what you put
Oh,
on for the kids. But before, but again, no, this comes out in '95, and like '95
I
years.
hard disagree, Dragon. I mean, yeah, 95 is a strong year for sure. Like, you got Lion King, you got Toy Story, but I mean, I don't think I don't think this is slim pickings. I think there's substance there. I think this movie has a beautiful message for one.
What I was thing on to say was also like it's like realizing it. What the kid realizes, oh my god, I'm in '95. You mean I could have watched Toy Story or a Goofy movie between choosing this? What? Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Dragon, let's get into some background.
Get background on this. So, Don Bluth, essentially, from what I understand, is looking to do a love story, kind of inspired by Beauty and the Beast, and kind of chasing the mouse of it all, as it were. Don Bluth, kind of the cat from one could argue the metaphor. Don Bluth being the cat from Secret of Nim, chasing the mouse, still in a sense. So he's trying to do a love story inspired by Beauty and the Beast. Also, this is not official or anything, but maybe a little bit of Mary Poppins on his mind with all the penguins. Just saying. Just saying. So, this ended up getting pushed from 94, 95 to avoid competing with, you probably guessed it, The Lion King. Of course, Toy Story was the unknown entity that came out like around November, so this is way before that. So they weren't really competing with Disney they would have if they competed with Disney, it would have been with Pocahontas, and again, Goofy Movie was kind of an unknown entity
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Anyway, so Don Bluth, he had major creative troubles on this because yet again he's working with a new studio, MGM. MGM, they
Wait,
wanted
MGM
to.
did all dogs.
Oh well, I mean, she shifted studios again, but
Uh-huh.
sure. The point, yes, he's back. You're right. He's back to
Yeah.
MGM. Anyways, I'm working with MGM again. MGM wanted a lot of changes on this project, which you can imagine frustrated the animators. They wanted changes in characters, in dialogue. They want to make like a lot of edits, like taking scenes out. I want to say putting a few scenes in, which of course leads to a lot of retakes and changes to the animation, which means less creative time to really kind of sell and perfect the scenes you do have because you're making all these changes. They're outsourcing to a Hungarian studio to pick up the slack. A lot of craziness there. Again, Don Bluth, the recurring problem with this kind of this phase of Bluth as it appears. Bluth is trying to keep the business afloat, which is taken away from the creative stuff to help them build the business in the first place.
Uh-huh.
So, believe it or not, this movie was really irksome to Don Bluth. It was so irksome that years later he went back and touched up the film a little bit. So I believe there's technically two versions of this film. I'm not sure which one I watched. I'm not sure which one you watched, but there are two versions of this
I
film.
watched whatever version was on Kiss Cartoon.
Well, let me ask you this: lengthwise, was your like an hour and 15 minutes?
Yes.
Interesting. I think I got the longer one, but
Huh.
okay. So the point being, another thing too that historically, a movie in Don Bluth's eyes so bad that he and Goldman they pulled their director credits off the film.
Wow.
If you look at the movie, Tiki, if you watch it again, if you start it, it's just gonna pop with like a Don Bluth production, no directed by or anything. It's just gonna say, Don Bluth production.
Dragon, you know what? I really think part of my praise for this thing is literally just us coming directly off of Troll in Central Park.
I really do, Tiki.
But it's not that bad. It's really
I'm saying it's in the Thumbelina okay space. I'm saying
right.
it's not bad. I'm just saying I don't think it's like I wouldn't at all put this over all dogs. That's what I can't get.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's
I
just
just think like I said, I think at the very least, I think the thing this has over all dogs is that it's the plot structure has a lot more integrity to it. But
anyway. So also this kind of leads to the next movie in that there's an exodus to Fox because again they had such a tough time with MGM working with them again, so they kind of lead the exodus to do a movie for Fox with Titan A, which we'll get to. So That's it.
Okay. All right, so let's talk the characters, starting with Hubie.
Oh, story, Tiki.
God, I'm so sorry. All right, so story. I mean, I feel like this is one of the kind of strengths and weaknesses of the movie. Is it's just kind of a typical buddy road movie. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. You know, two traveling companions. You know, an odd couple traveling dynamic. Trying to brave treacherous territory to reach an end goal. And honestly, Dragon, that's kind of what I like about this movie. The fact that Rockadoodle, batshit, Thumbelina tries to be a typical fairy tale, but ends up batshit because everybody wants to rape her.
Okay, why do you gotta be like that? Yes, but pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Troll in Central Park, need I say more? Pebble and the Penguin, you know, it's refreshing, Dragon. It's refreshing to go back to something that it's just like, this is nice. This is a nice, comfortable format for an animated movie.
Of course, just the plot in quotes here, the one-sentence plot is that Hubie is trying to fulfill the mating proposal, which leads to a journey back to the Antarctic to complete said proposal. Pretty straightforward. Yes. Now, here's the thing. I want to say this, though. It's I agree with you in that the part of the movie that I do like and I can glom onto is the buddy road movie quality, the buddy movie.
I think it gets a little bit repetitive in parts, and that is a flaw, but, you know, compared to the flaws of Troll in Central Park, that's a blemish.
But here's the thing, Tiki. I think it takes too long to get to that point because I'm going to acknowledge it. I think it's difficult to do a love story when a couple are separated for a majority of the film, and every time we check in with the other half of said couple, it's the same scene over and over and over again.
Sure,
I don't want to marry you. Hubie's coming. I don't want to marry you. Hubie's
All right. Well, we'll get into those scenes because those scenes are elevated by a very particular voice actor.
I know, but when your movie is very much grounded, we're doing a love story, and then Act 2, right turn, it's a buddy movie, which, okay, where was this?
Right.
So, you know, you have that, and also, here's something that really bugs me about the story in this film. Basically, here's some, like, big problems I got with the movie. So, we cut out a lot of important moments. We just have these random kind of transitions where it's like, okay, Hubie, he gets separated from the Antarctic in a storm, and then he just wakes up captive on a ship. Like, what? Like, that's kind of an important detail. He's just waking up in captivity, and then later on, okay, they're off the ship, they're on a beach now, and then here's the worst example. Okay, so at some point in the movie, we towards the third act, we have little exposition birds, like little bird friends of Hubie, and they're saying, Maria's been kidnapped. It's like, where was this? Why is this? What? Give me a how here. I missed the things.
I got to admit, Dragon, part of that to me was just kind of like, I kind of appreciate that. I mean, I know it's a flaw. But I feel like this is the movie, out of all the ones we looked at, where I feel like even the flaws feel like Bluthian flaws. Like with Bluth, it's like I feel like the geography of Don Bluth movies have never made sense, honestly.
Sure. Also, speaking of which, the storybook opening, being like a sheet, like a music book.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I don't like that. Here's the thing.
Here's my take on it. Here's my take on it.
Go on.
At first I was really sucked into like, oh man, I love these beautiful backgrounds and the icebergs and everything. And by the way, I do think this is a beautiful looking movie. I really do. Especially in comparison to something like Troll in Central Park or even Thumbelina. I think the designs are fun. I think the backgrounds in some cases are gorgeous. But then we cut to the storybook and we get that the love song. Dragon, what I like about it in retrospect is I kind of like that it's sort of like this elaborate, like Broadway style opening number, and B, I feel like the now and forever theme, it kind of becomes the main musical motif of the whole movie. So you introduce it there, like that musical number almost kind of acts as the overture of the piece.
Let me tell you something. When I was watching this movie, I had like an uh-oh moment.
Oh, God.
And it was towards the beginning. It was like, okay, I'm going in blind, shake it off, Control in Central Park. Okay, Pebble and the Penguin. No idea what I'm expecting. I saw like being played on the TV like years and years ago. I don't remember a thing about it, really. We're going to go into our review of it, so I'm a little fresh on the goings-on with the whole, like, Penguin proposal thing. I get it. And Tim Curry. We're going to go into this. It's been a while. Let's see how it is. So we're starting, and okay, we're doing this, and then storybook, okay, I'm with you with the charm, and then the book opens, so you're kind of a little harkening back to the old Disney stuff. Let's see if Bluth can maintain the mystique, the wonder, the whimsy. Opens up, it's a music book, and they're all just randomly dancing around sheets of music and like clefs and everything. Like, wait, what? What is happening?
I had that initial reaction, but like I said, I think I kind of warmed.
I'm saying it was a bad omen for me, and it didn't quite fix itself. The way like a narrator really, again, for not doing a storybook, why do we have a narrator?
The narrator's pointless. I'll give you that.
That's what I'm saying. All of this kind of stems from, if you're gonna do a narrator, then don't do this musical thing. You want to do a musical thing, then why do we have to see the pieces of music? I mean, I don't get it.
I hear you.
Yeah. So again, on the whole, I mean, it's. You got holes in the story with kind of the stuff I've mentioned there, so I mean it's kind of what it is.
It's holes, but it's not Swiss cheese like a troll in Central Park is.
That's fair. It's not Swiss cheese, but it's
like a troll in Central Park is like plot. What is plot?
What?
We're just gonna go on this boat for like 45 minutes. God.
That's why they kind of brought that boat back. Is that like a random boat at some point in this movie? Like, why do we go? This is one comment. I swear to God, because again, we have these transitions are killing me in the movie with the stories. Like, where the hell do we get these things? Okay, so speaking of which, let's talk about the characters.
All right. So we go to Hugh B, voiced by Martin Short. Dragon, I'm going to call it right now. If this movie ever gets remade, Josh Gad absolutely has to play this character.
It does.
This is such a Josh Gad character.
The proto Josh Gad for sure.
Absolutely.
The voice cast on the whole, a lot of good choices for voices in this film.
Three in particular, I think, work incredibly well. I think those three are really obvious.
Out. Yeah. So that's the thing. So Martin Short, though, here's the thing. Not a bad pick, but I feel he felt a little stifled here. And here's the main thing that made him feel a little stifled to me. The stutter was a bad call. I don't know who made the call. I think the stutter was bad.
It was. I'm not going to fight you on that. It got a little annoying.
I'm saying I much prefer Martin Short in like Treasure Planet than I do his performance here. But again, outside of the stutter, it's okay. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's a more likable character than his character in Treasure Planet. I just think the voice acting is less annoying.
How long has it been since you've seen Treasure Planet?
A long time.
It's really likable in Treasure Planet. I don't think there's anything. But anyway, the point being is, you might want to rewatch that just to kind of. Anyway.
Dragon, the last time I saw Treasure Planet was in theaters.
Well, come on, man. I mean, you have Disney Plus now. Come on. Okay. So anyway, so Hubie. So again, Hubie basically is the romantic trying to propose, essentially. It's one of those stories. Kind of, one could argue, if you want to be really cynical about it, it's an inferior, rescuers, if you will, rescuers down under.
I mean, kind of, in a way, but my whole thing with Hubie's character is I just like the moral of the story. I like the fact that, like, you don't have to be super impressive or, like, a hunk of a guy or... like have the best voice or anything like that. You just have to be a good person. You know what I mean? I like that a lot, Dragon. I felt like there was a lot of value in the moral there with Hubie's arc.
I hear that, but there's also a bit of a conflict within that moral in that he has to fight, still have to defy the odds and fight a guy he has no business beating. I hear you, though. It's a good moral.
I mean, I hear you. I mean, that kind of just comes down to like an animated feature needs a good third act, but
it's like he's learning how to fight too, and that's good. It's like forget just the nice guy winning. It's like the nice guy has to learn to fight. Which I mean, I don't necessarily mind. It's just I mean that does kind of when you really put in that perspective. Yeah.
Dragon, all I'm saying is that I feel like when they have that pretty cheesy line at the end where it's like. Don't forget, Hubie, it's the penguin, not the Pebble. That to me, it's like, yes, it's absolutely cheesy, but I feel like it works. I feel like it sums up everything,
Here's the thing. Good moral, that it comes after he did all that. I don't know how I feel about that.
Fair enough.
You couldn't have mentioned that earlier when I didn't have the Pebble. You couldn't have just.
I mean, I feel like he needed to, he needed to take out Drake because Drake was a physical, he was something like physical getting in the way. You know what I mean? Anyways.
Anyway, all right. So let's see. Here's one more thing I want to say about Hubie though. Here's the thing. I know that Hubie. I think Hubie. I guess he works enough, but I could have really saw myself really getting invested in this guy, in his plight, because I've seen this done. I've seen something like this done better and work wonders in Wall-E with the plant. With the whole Penguin Pebble thing. It's like you have your love interest who's delivering this one important item or totem to kind of complete the thing. And it's.
But I mean, with that in mind, you got to admit that the addition of the Pebble itself in the movie does add some tension.
That's what I'm saying. It does. The Pebble as itself.
And I do like the conflict that presents itself, where it's like on surface level, the Pebble, really shouldn't be something that you're like risking life and limb for. But at the same time, it's the act of carrying the Pebble. It's, I don't know. I see where that can get a little twisted in your mind, Dragon, morally.
No, I like that, Tiki. My thing is, like, we kind of convolute the Pebble. Like, it comes from space. He can look into it and like, see what she's doing. But I like Tiki. I want to be clear. You're absolutely right in that the moments where he goes back for the Pebble are great. I wish we focused on those maybe a hair more than the discussion of that. It's like, what are you doing going back for the thing? Oh, God, he goes back for the thing. I should be on the edge of my seat. Oh, he's got to get the Pebble!
Sure.
But I don't know if that necessarily lands. Let me tell you one thing, because this does very much relate to this sort of story. Going to deep pull. Episode of Tarzan, the Legend of Tarzan.
I'm not going to know what you're talking about, but go for it.
Give me a shot here. So there's a whole episode about this sort of thing where Tarzan has friends, the Waziris. It's like an African, kind of tribe within Africa. And essentially, Tarzan's the best man. They're going to get this feather. The feather is like the Pebble. So you get the feather, you bring it, and you get married.
Yeah. And
that whole episode essentially culminates in the conversation going on back at the camp is, I don't need the feather. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a payoff to it where, eventually he gets the feather, but again, it was like, he didn't need the feather the whole time. And I don't know, it was a little bit more of a kind of a point. I don't know.
All right.
And I've seen that thing work, and perhaps it could have worked a little better. But again, it's here. So, all right. Let's talk about the real star of this thing.
Yes. Belushi just, man, what?
Rocco.
Yeah. This guy was such a surprise, Dragon. This character is like such a ball of energy. I don't know if he's going for like an Elvis voice or what, but whatever voice he's doing, it totally works. My only nitpick with this character is that he's a little bit repetitive. There's maybe one or two too many instances where it's like, oh, forget ya, you're crazy, you're mad, I hate ya, and I love ya. You know what I mean? Like, there's maybe one or two too many fake outs like that where it's like, oh no, like, the funny thing is, Dragon, we never really get a proper breakup scene with these two. Like, it looks like it's going to go down that direction a couple times, and it never really fully commits to it.
So well, that's just Jim Belushi. That's how he sounds, by the way. He's not really putting on a voice. Just it's good old. That's Jim Belushi.
Gotcha. I'm not really all that familiar with Jim Belushi. Of course, I know the other Belushi, but
well, you remember Jingle All the Way, right? He's the Santa Claus.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, Dragon, that's a lot of there's a lot of Belushi to keep track of.
Okay, my point is Jim Belushi. I can tell you, watching this made me want to go back because I never really binged it. I would like to go back to According to Jim.
that's the main thing I know him from, and I never.
That's what I'm saying, because I've never truly watched According to Jim.
Yeah,
I've seen a bit of it because I also like the wife in that kid, Kimberly Paisley. She's in the Christmas Chronicles and everything, and she's.
Oh, by the way, Dragon, did you hear the news?
I saw like a snippet of it. What news?
The Christmas Chronicles 2?
Well, I saw the teaser for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah, remember, we know kind of the plot for it. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, it's a point being.
I think you and I might be the two most excited men on the internet for Christmas Chronicles 2.
I'm very excited for it too. Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, my point is, Yeah, I like Paisley. So, and of course, Belushi would clinch it too, because Belushi's always good every time I see him. He did this really great drama once. It's called The Principal,
Uh-huh.
where he plays like a principal in like a really bad, like kind of bad district. Yes, like he carries a bat and everything to protect the students and kind of get whip everybody in line. It's really cool.
Is it one of those like, how do I reach these keys?
Here's the thing. It's a really intimidating version of that.
Okay,
Almost like a horror. It's like a thriller version of that.
So it's like, how do I reach these kids meets Whiplash?
It's like, how do I reach these kids? And some of these kids might want to kill me.
Oh God. Okay.
Like some of these kids might reject me trying to reach out to them, and they might try to end me.
Fair enough. Sounds interesting.
Really interesting. I'm pretty sure it's called The Principal, Jim Belushi. It's really anyway.
But what I like about Rocky is that just as a side character, he's such a straight shooter, man. You know what I mean?
He is.
Very simple character to relate to. He's a penguin who wants to fly. He's a tough guy who who has kind of a soft interior to him. He's not a complex character by any means, but I feel like there's a lot to grasp onto with him.
Yeah, I like that he's got the silly dream of wanting to fly and how it pays off really nicely. It works better than honestly. Part of me wonders if this works better than the main plot. The way like the whole. A part of me feels like this penguin who wants to fly ending up flying to save the day. I'm more drawn in and kind of sold on that than I am this whole the whole proposal angle. Honestly, I mean, Rocco really he kind of was the highlight of the film for me. Again, that's where the buddy movie comes into play. I like him getting it from point A to point B. It's like that sort of thing that really worked for me. Again, he's a mentor. He teaches Hubie, to conquer Tim in this, and which also helps save the day. He's a really good character. Really pugnacious. I dig the guy.
All right, now let's go to Marina. Dragon, I don't know. She's nice.
I don't have anything bad to say.
What I like about her is that I do feel like the movie did a good job of they're not meeting for the first time when the love story starts. You know what I mean? Like there's already clearly a history and a rapport there between them, which honestly is kind of rare, especially for Bluth. Look at Thumbelina. That was my main problem with Thumbelina, and here we go. They subverted that problem. They have a history. They have a past together. They have a chemistry. It's just, it's just one of those things where it's like, when are these two crazy kids going to get together? And I like that as a starting point for a love story, Dragon.
I mean, basically, my thing, Marina's okay. She's very low to Hubie. I can dig that. She's, in retrospect, she could have made the first move. Wouldn't have killed her. I was going to say that. I mean, again, the whole I didn't need a Pebble. It's about the penguin before. So hell, you could. If only Martin Short would have said this, you'd be like, you couldn't have said that before.
Martin Short breaks out into Jiminy Glick, sarcastic Martin Short. Really, really.
Anyway, so and also again, the space Pebble with the magic abilities is BS. I think it's.
You know what? It is BS. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's only there because we have no way of getting. Apparently, we can't just cut back to what's going on. No, we got to have Hubie.
You're right, Dragon. You're right. To be fair, it's also there to give Hubie motivation as well.
I want to say what Bluth was going for. I don't think he had enough time to focus on this to really actually.
It's like the magic mirror from Beauty and the Beast. All right, it's just a fairy tale thing. You just got to accept it.
No.
What logic behind it?
No, Tiki. What I'm saying is, I think if Bluth was going for something, I think he was going for the thing of Hubie's projecting that this is probably what's happening.
Okay.
But I don't think that if he's doing, I really don't think that's an intentional thing he's aiming for. I don't think
that's intentional either. I literally just think it's, like I said, I literally think it's like the Beauty and the Beast mirror. It's just kind of like a fantastical device that you don't really have to think that hard into.
Sure. Well, again, there's actually magic in Beauty and the Beast. That's why that works.
Sure.
They're all magically turned into items and everything, and he's got a magic rope. Anyway, I hear your point. Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's talk about the other star.
Oh my God. Oh. Okay, Tim Curry. He plays Penguin Gaston. Next.
Pretty much. So, we have.
That's all you really need to say, right? It's pretty straightforward.
Yes, Drake. Here we have Tim Curry as the other highlights. Definitely within the casting. He's just. I love this. so rarely do I invoke the whole "so bad it's good" thing. I think it's what Tim Curry's kind of doing here. It's like a character that is kind of so ridiculous it kind of works.
Dre, he's got like kind of this weird like surfer bro accent.
That's the weird. He breaks he breaks the thing to us. It's like a surfer version of Kevin from Ed, Edd and Eddie for a bit
Right,
there. You know,
right, yeah. It's so weird.
just calling him a nerd and like, hope you know how to swim. It's like, wait, what?
It's just like, and it sounds totally like authentically Curry, but then he
Yeah.
comes out with that surfer dialect.
And it's like that. It's just that one scene, right? It's just really weird. And I mean, basically, with the surfer thing, like design-wise, they're just evoking for that scene for the opening. I guess it's very '80s bully beginnings is what they're going for there. You know, again, he's a penguin on steroids. You know, he's all ego. He's the perfect mate. Again, he's Gaston in his own eyes.
Sure.
You know, yeah. Also, they cut out some. I'm so glad they cut this out. They cut out. He had henchmen and everything, which was a smart move because giving him. It's already given him like a lair and everything's weird, but giving him a henchman would have been dumb. The death fake out was dumb. Let's be honest there. The whole like he falls. Okay, let's cut it off there. Like, oh, I'm back. Oh, I'm throwing a rock.
There's two fake out deaths in this movie, and they both don't really work.
Yeah, you're right. They don't. And yet again, doing the thing. Like from Troll in Central Park, we have a death. One death in particular might have been effective, but nope.
Sure. I don't know, but with Drake, first of all, he's got a great design to him too.
It's again ridiculous so much that it works. It's like this shouldn't work, but again it conveys the message of what they're going for here. Where again it's the schlubby guy, the schlubby everyman versus the giant, kind of like the the muscle builder guy, the muscle guy.
For only she in town is God. What's the lyric for Beauty and the Beast? For in town only she is as beautiful as me.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, Tim Curry just, a lot of fun, a classic villain. I feel like he just absolutely, elevates this movie to, I don't want to say must-watch status, but if you're a Curry fan, then certainly, this should be in your repertoire. It's a great Tim Curry animated villain.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's look for our proverbial pebbles, or our space pebbles, which kind of look a little bit like diamonds from a distance. Let's look for some diamonds in the Bluth.
I'm going to go to some obvious ones here. Like I said, just some stuff we've already talked about. I really like the message of this movie. I like the fact that they kind of course corrected on the Thumbelina romance, where there's actually a history and chemistry with the two leads before the movie starts. But importantly, Dragon, with the Bluthisms of it all, my God, I mean, killer whales, giant seals, Jesus Christ, this movie does have some nightmare fuel in it.
Yeah, the seals were creepy, man.
That one scene where the seal is just, chasing them, and, they end up in the mouth of the seal at one point.
The waiting as, he's chasing the Pebble, that was creepy.
Yeah,
it's very Bluthy.
I mean, I feel like this movie, it's certainly not as dark as something like Land Before Time or All Dogs or Secret of Nim or something like that. But I definitely feel like it's got way more of an edge than a Thumbelina or a Troll in Central Park.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, we have the whale. Oh my God, when the whale goes up there, I wish the timing was a little fixed on. But the point being, the scale of the whale as it jumps up and tries to get Hubie. That's a big one. So, here's the thing. I like two of the songs in this.
Okay.
I like Don't Make Me Laugh. Just Tim. It's kind of like, honestly, I like it for a silly reason. It's like maybe a song Tim Curry's Joker would have sang had he actually Joker. Well, Don't Make Me Laugh. And just, hey, it's Tim Curry getting to be able to ham it up. That's quite fun. And also, I like the vaudevillian duet. I'm sure a lot of people that really don't like this, but the vaudevillian duet about "It Looks Like I Got Me a Friend," that whole old little vaudevillian bits. It's kind of funny.
I like that too. Yeah,
it's kind of nice.
Here's the thing with the songs: I don't think any of the songs really knock it out of the park, but I also don't think any of them are offensively bad either. I don't think any of them drag the movie to a halt like Troll in Central Park does. I think they all serve their role decently well. like, I'm not going to be walking out of the theater humming the soundtrack or anything, but at the very least, they serve their purpose.
They do, but
Which
I
is
gotta
more
tell
than
you,
you can say for the musical numbers in Thumbelina or Troll in Central Park.
I gotta tell you though, again, I do like, with the exception of the whole Mary the Mole thing, which yes, rightfully got Razzies and everything. I get it, but I gotta tell you though, Thumbelina songs are well sung for the most part. It's.
I'm just saying, like, they slow the plot down more than this movie songs do.
Yeah. Anyway, so the earlier song when they're on the ship, that there was a big plot hole in that though.
All right.
All the penguins, they're out of their cells during that, out of their cages during that song, where the whole thing is like, how the heck are we gonna get out of these things?
Dragon, in the immortal words of Rob Walker, oh well, plot hole.
Yeah. Okay. There was no, I'm thinking of a different movie. I was gonna say that it's funny, Brother Bear, because I was getting ready for the debate we did. There was a Robert Walker who co-directed Brother Bear.
Oh no! Oh god! Oh man! All right.
Anyway, so here again, the death. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Yeah, the whole betrayal thing. I don't know how I feel. I kind of like it. I like that we laugh off the betrayal and the lie, and that it's weird. Don't get me wrong.
I do too. I like that. It's a good subversion of the lie reveal thing, Dragon.
I know. I like the subvert. It's a little weird, but it's refreshing, right?
Yeah. My whole thing. The only thing that I have an issue with is, after Hubie takes the dive for the Pebble after that, and then Rocco's just like, it's basically kind of the same routine again, you know what I mean? Where Rocco's just like, you're crazy, you're mad, and I love ya!
Yeah, I double dipped it on that one.
Right. Alright. Any other diamonds to sift through here?
Nope.
Of course, good voice cast.
Yeah.
Alright. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so final thoughts, Dragon. I really do think this is a shame that Bluth disowns this movie, because frankly, if there's one movie Bluth desperately needs to disown, it is not this one. That's all I'll say. I think this movie's got a lot going for it, man. It's not perfect by any means, but I do think it's above just something to put down to shut up the kids, I really do. I think that it's legitimately got some fun character stuff in it. It's a cool journey. There are some high stakes involved. And Tim Curry plays an awesome, fun villain. And, it's got some meaning behind it. It's got a good moral behind it. So, I mean, Dragon, I don't know. I still think structurally, like from a plot point of view, I would say it holds up a little better than All Dogs does. All Dogs definitely has the higher highs. I'll give it that much. All Dogs definitely has the higher highs out of the two. But I think that this one is a little bit more consistent. I don't know. That's my hot take, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Final thoughts for me. Again, it's so odd that this thing has developed a cult following. Which, I mean, I don't fully get. I mean, again, I can assume that it's for the buddy movie quality of it all. What do you mean? That's what's jumping out to me. That's what I can get.
I mean, come on. Curry will make anything into a cult following.
That's what I'm saying. It's all for the Belushi and the Curry, man. The Curry's got to be the cult following reason. Otherwise, it's such an odd thing. But again, this movie, it's okay. It's in the okayish category with Thumbelina for me. It's where it ends up being. It's definitely it's a downgrade from Bluth's greatest hits in the first phase for sure. It still is, but again, comparing this phase we're at now, probably top tier. Probably. Again, it's also this movie kind of begins like the peaks and valleys thing for Bluth. Or think about it. Troll in Central Park is the low of lows, and again, he's kind of crawling out of the muck with this one, and then after this, there's Anastasia, which again we've already covered. But the point being, he goes to Anastasia, which is a great step above, and then you get to, well, we'll see how Titan AE goes. I have no idea how that's going to go. Again, might be a peak and valley. Go up, and then we go down again.
I will say that Titan AE is the one Bluth movie that I did see in theaters as a kid. So I've definitely got some nostalgia from that perspective. So that should be an interesting revisit.
We'll see. So So we'll see how it goes. I mean, again, I love. It's again to me, it's a kind of a love story without all the heart there. It's got a Scotia nice friendship, but not much else. But again, it cuts the mustard enough. It does the job. Just it's not like a Don Bluth's name's not on it for a reason. I feel
All right. Well, folks, we've made it through another one of Don Bluth's movie-making misfires. Join us next time as we brave more films from the dark side of the Bluth on yet another harrowing installment of BluthTember.
Where's Waldo?
No one fights like Gaston. No one bites like Gaston.